I wanted to touch real quick, if I could, if y'all are okay with this. I went and saw this. I finally got the referral to the neurologist, and I went and saw him yesterday. And so this is the question in the end that I would like to see if y'all have experience too. But I'm going to give some. I'll give the question, then give some background. Have you experienced situations where two specialists, in my case, it's a neurologist and a pain specialist, have dramatically differed on diagnoses and treatment plans as well? So this is the backstory to that. I got the referral and got to see the neurologist yesterday. He's a pretty cool cat. He's also a professor, which makes me a little, because those who can't do teach, right? But he spent an hour with me, just over an hour with me. So that's a good sign. And he, my pain doctor was convinced that I had dealing with pseudotumor cerebri, and that's why for these headaches, and that's why he referred me to the neurologist. The neurologist, he just shook his head, and he was like, "No way." And he went through his reasonings. Number one, like only a third of all the people diagnosed with that are male. Then when you just dissect it further, typical age bracket is 18 to 25, and then it gets even more specific. People being diagnosed overweight, and he's looking at me. He's like, "You're none of this." He's like, "So I don't know where he's coming up with this." And then he showed me, I think it was my CT scan. He showed, which was eerie. I could see my eyeballs, the backs of my eyes in this. And you see how yours are curved. And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right." He set my little mind to one side of the screen, and he pulled up another image of somebody who actually has pseudotumor cerebri, and theirs were flat. He's like, "You see how theirs are flat? There's no curvature." He said, "That's because they have pressure in their brain, and it's pushing it up against the back of the eyeball. This is theirs, flat, and this is yours. So
Yeah.
this is telling me you don't have it." He's like, "I'm still going to order the CT scan. Not this. Order the spinal tap."
Spinal tap?
Yeah, and just to rule it out, but mainly I'm ordering the spinal tap so we can get some of your spinal fluid and test it. He said, "Has anybody ever mentioned to you possible meningitis?" And I'm like, "Nope." And I tell you, folks, don't go to Dr. Google. Don't, because it'll scare the crap out of you. So, and then we started talking about how these headaches start in the back of my head sometimes, and they come forward, but no medication touches those. Oxy doesn't touch it. Migraine medicine doesn't touch it. And he's like, "Yeah, because he's like, it won't." He goes, that's your body responding to something. That is a physical cause for that pain." He said, "What it is the nerves that come back on the top of your spine. When they go up to the top of your head, they go through the muscles that are attached to your skull. Your muscles are twitching, they're firing, and they're squeezing the nerves, which is triggering the nerves, which is causing the pain." He's like, "The bad news is there is no oral medication on the planet that will take away that pain. It won't happen." And I'm like, "Oh, gee, thank you." He said, "I'm disappointed in your pain doctor because he can control that." He says steroid injections or analgesic injections, nerve blocks, have been successful in treating that in the vast majority of people, and he didn't even bother.
Yeah.
So I walked in with the diagnosis of pseudotumor cerebri, and I walk out with possibility of some kind of infection in my spinal cord fluid, as well as another physical issue causing the headaches in the back of my head. So they're at odds, completely different from each other.
Completely different.
So I'm having a hard time processing that. The peanut butter brain, it's like, well, who do I choose and who do I follow, right? Because I don't know what to do. They're both experts. They're both doctors. They both are trained in this. They're both leaders in their field, right? But they are both on different sides of the universe, and just in figuring out what's wrong, and different treatment plans, right? Like Sarah just said, why can't they work together? Yeah, I don't know. He said. I did point out, I asked the guy yesterday, the neuro yesterday, I said, well, what do you think about this EEG that my pain doctor had done? And he read it, and he was a little freaked out and scared about the results. And he'd been writing down notes. He just kind of gently put his pen down. This guy's like in his mid-60s, right? Puts his pen down, looks over at me, sits up, goes, Keith, some people just shouldn't read EEGs. And then goes back to writing in his notes.
Okay. Some people shouldn't. But
I don't know. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to process this. I don't know what to think.
Wow. I mean, it's hard, especially whenever they're at two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like, they're not close together. Like, your doctor has one diagnosis, and this guy has a completely different path that he's going down.
Yeah.
And, I think, at least for me, you tend to go with the specialist because they tend to know more about the specialty, obviously. But at that point, you kind of have to do a little bit of your own research, I feel like. And that's, what I've had to do when doctors have been completely different. And like when Sarah said, why can't they work together? In my history of being ill and sick, doctors don't want to work together. Like opposing specialties, they never want to work together or collaborate. It's always like my idea is better than yours.
It's the God complex, right? Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Partially it is. Truth with you said, I'm going to butcher this word. Don't be mad at me, Truth. The I don't know, muscles when tight can really cause havoc. Trust the neuro. And that it makes sense because he just said it's greater occipital neuralgia, something like that. Don't quote me. I can barely read the handwriting when I wrote it down yesterday. It's like a group of three nerves that come up, right? And they do go right through those muscles back there. And so it makes sense if they're twitching or they fire wrong or too many times, they mess with those nerves. And he said something interesting that those headaches could be what's triggering the migraines. That might be the trigger of the migraines. And I really want to believe a lot of what he was saying because a lot of it made so much sense. He was like, because I told him that when I have a migraine, it has to be off the hook, debilitating in bed for the migraine meds to work, but they do work. 7, 8, 9, it won't touch it. Meds won't touch it. But at 10, 11, 12, the migraine meds will work. I said, but when these headaches start back here, nothing touches it. And he just put his pen down and he's like, listen, you got two types because you're dealing with two different things. You got migraines and then you got this greater blah, 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 blah. And he's like, what disappoints me is your pain doctor could have treated this back here. And he just oversaw. He just didn't even look at it and pause. So, thank you for the comment, Truthy with you. I appreciate that. So what I'm doing and what he's scheduled is, and what I put in my video earlier today has changed, unfortunately. I am going to get why can't I remember this? Thank you. Spinal tap done. And I had it, they were able to get it in tomorrow, but then I remembered, or I was reminded, I should say, that I have to be off this diuretic that my pain doctor has me on for 14 days. Because he has me on this as treating me as if I have this pseudo tumor, and there's too much pressure to alleviate the pressure. So if I go in and have a spinal tap done, and he's correct, and that's what it is, it's going to test more closer to normal because I'm taking all this diuretic stuff. So I got to be off of it. But the good news is that by end of next week, I'll probably be able to drink Topo Chico and soda and carbonated drinks again, which I haven't been able to do for months. Yep. And he said that this diuretic I'm on, he said it's very common for people who are first diagnosed with pseudo tumor to be put on it for like 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm like, well, yeah, he put me on it for a month at twice a day. So it was like 1,000 milligrams a day. But I wasn't doing anything. So he bumped it up to 3 times a day. So I'm at 1,500 milligrams a day. And he was shocked. He goes, most people can't tolerate that for more than 3 weeks at 1,000 a day. And you're taking 1,500. I go, it's destroying my stomach. You know, I'm a space cadet. But I'm also a chronic pain patient, so I'm used to not being normal.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, so that got pushed off till December 30th, which is a Monday. But I did get two CT scans scheduled for like the Saturday before that. Both with contrast, 2 different views, and that'll get done. That's the Saturday before the spinal tap. So that's the latest and greatest there. So, if anybody, I guess my next question is: has anybody survived a PT or a spinal tap? Because I'm not wanting to do this because it just sounds painful. And the comments from the video earlier, they're like, don't do it. Just don't do it. Yeah. You know, Jennifer says twice. Oh, Jennifer, you're an overachiever. Erica, 10? You've had 10? Holy cannolis. Advo's had 2. Kate's had, wow.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people have to get a blood really bad like side effects afterwards. I don't know. I've heard really, and I don't want to say that because I don't want to scare you, but I've just heard very bad things about spinal tap. And so
I don't know any other way for
I've
them
never
to get
had
the fluid.
Right. I mean, at this point you kind of have to, right?
I don't know any other way for them to get the fluid out to test it, to see if it's infected, to see besides visual, right? I mean, it's supposed to be like crystal clear, and if it's not, then that shows that something's messed with it, you know. And I believe I will get anesthesia for it because they told me that I need somebody to drive me home from it. So that tells me they're going to put something in me that they don't want me to do. Erica says immediately lay down, stay laying down all day. Try not to smoke as much that day. Erica, I love you and I care about you, but that is going to be a very stressful day. And I understand your care and concern for me not to smoke that much that day. I'm hoping that they give me some kind of anesthesia, which will help me sleep that day, and I'll sleep a good part of the day. Yeah. But I will do my best. I will. That's
or at least something to relax you so you don't move, type of thing.
Yeah.
Because that would be my concern with that. If they were just raw dogging it like that, I would twitch or move or squirm. So at least something to where you're relaxed and you're not moving.
Yeah,
type of thing.
I mean, I've had nerve blocks done in my low back with and without anesthesia. I prefer with, so I don't flinch. It's like I trust the docs. I don't trust my body reacting when they stick me with a needle like that. That's what. And spinal tap, I don't trust myself at all. I know smoking interferes with healing in a very big way. Here's the thing. I had a choice a long time ago to give up drinking and or smoking. had to pick one, and so I gave up drinking. And but I need one vice, and I know it's terrible for me. I know it's terrible for me. I've managed to cut down by about a third in the last 6 months, but it's just not going to happen between now and the 30th. I guarantee you.
Right? Yeah, that's not a realistic short-term goal.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the concern and I appreciate the advice, and I'm not trying to sound like a jerk. That like I don't appreciate it. I do. I just know me. I know me, and my stress level the way it is right now, it's brain fog, and hell, I have to look at Valerie almost every morning and go, I am on edge today. I can go one way or the other right now, and I hate doing that, but I feel like it's my duty to let her know, right? Because she doesn't need to say something polite, which I take something wrong, and then just all over her, right? You know, so that's,
we all do that sometimes.
Yeah, but you know, like we discussed in that call today, our caretakers don't deserve it, you know. So Erica says, and lay by the window so I don't have to get up to smoke. I can do that. I have a window right here on my side of the bed. Just got to convince Valerie, you know, that it's okay, you know. So
figure out a way.
I'll figure out a way, you know. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I'll figure out a way. So that's it. That's like my medical, you know. But I mean, I guess tied into that is just goes to show we're all human, and we're all of us are invisible, and all of us are going to get we're going to get sideswiped and run over by a train at some time. All right. And whether we can anticipate it at times because we know we did too much, or whether we were just our normal conservative selves, right? And out of nowhere, we didn't do a damn thing, quote unquote, wrong. It still runs us over, right? Well, that's why last week we weren't live, because I got run over by numerous trains, and I had a terrible meeting. I mean, I had a good appointment with my doctor that week and my primary care, but it was bad because I had to deal with a lot of serious topics. Let's put it that way, right? So mentally, I was fried. I just couldn't do it, you know. I just couldn't do it. So that's why Amy and I had talked about just holding off. Because actually it'd been going on for a few weeks, and Thanksgiving was a rough night for me, but I wanted to be there for everybody for Thanksgiving, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad we were live on Thanksgiving. I think some of the people that showed up really appreciated it. I appreciated it. And it turns out you came down with strep throat, right? Last week. So
Strep throat.
So you were knocked out, and it just goes to show that no matter how bad we want as Invisibles to be somewhere and produce and do the right thing, we can't at times. We really can't, no matter how hard we try, right?
Yeah, and sometimes our bodies just stop.
Yeah, it does, you know, and that's kind of a situation we have going on right now with everybody's friend Amanda, Chronic Pain Warrior for you. She's taking some time off, which is good. If she needs some time, I'm glad she spoke up and said she needed some time, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. So she is going to take some time. So she had been with me on Thursday nights doing Invisible for a long time, and then once I got sick, she had taken Invisible over. So the question is, what do we do with Thursday nights, right? I can't let Thursday nights go because I look at it as my baby. We've had some incredible Thursday nights together, y'all. And I'll never forget the episode with Jolene, Chihuahua's mama, where she was talking about the hysterectomy at a young age, and all y'all ladies just kept in the comments just typing how young you were when it had happened. And one person had got a diagnosis out of that live with Jolene. She started messaging Jolene and everything, and by grace of God, she got a diagnosis that she'd been searching for years, able to get a diagnosis out of that. So, so Invisible will be around. Yeah, it was great. It will be around. It is going to take a few weeks off, though. It's going to. I don't think Amanda's doing this week because she's just been in the hospital, right? She deserves to take the week off. So it's going to come back on Thursday, January the 2nd, and it will be here on my page. It'll be just myself and a guest and talking, and that's it. And I have somebody lined up for that first night. That's going to be great. You guys hear me talk all the time about how make the memories. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it's very difficult, and we pay a hell of a price, and we shouldn't have to. But when you hear this person's memories that they got to make while they were in excruciating pain, you'll understand why it was important for this person to do what they did. And literally life-changing, So that'll start back on Thursday, January the 2nd. So that much I know. A little bit of just some background information. There's a list floating around of people who want to be on Invisible. I'm going to ask people to email me probably starting next week if you're interested in being on Invisible. So we can start right where I need to start. The way I handle Invisible is different than how anybody else would handle Invisible because they're all individuals, right? With me, if you're on live Thursday for Invisible, I'm going to call you Monday, and we're going to spend about an hour and a half on the phone. And I'm going to ask you to tell me your story, start to finish. Don't leave anything out. Just start to finish. Tell me your story. And I'm going to ask you very few questions when you're telling your story. And then I'm going to marinate and process and go over my notes. And I'm going to call you probably Tuesday or Wednesday. And we're going to talk again for another half hour to 40 minutes and be like, okay, you mentioned this in your story. Can you tell me more about this? And then we're going to talk again on Thursday before we go live Thursday night. And we're going to be like, okay, this is kind of what I have planned. This is the setup of the show. This is how we start. This is how I do this part. Dixie will come on to her part, and then we'll probably, what part in your storyline would you like to start in? What are you comfortable with sharing? If I ask you a question that is not comfortable for you, tell me, or just don't answer it. Okay? That's fine. It's all about you being safe. Just know that your story is important to somebody that's watching, because it'll change somebody.
Absolutely.
And I'll take that hour and a half conversation we have on Monday, the hour we talk on either Tuesday or Wednesday, half hour we talk on Thursday before we go live, and then I'll add in about another 5 hours going through your story, reading it over and over and over again until I know it. And if I have questions, I'll be texting you or messaging you or calling you saying, hey, I don't remember, can you explain this to me again? But I want everybody that comes on to be comfortable. I want you to know that you're safe. Yeah. Any live that I'm on is a safe live for anybody who's invisible. Anybody. It's safe. And if there's ever approaches a subject you're not comfortable with, you just need to say so, and we'll go somewhere else. We have a gazillion things we can talk about. So if you're not safe, doesn't feel good, just let me know. And we'll do that, So is there anything else in my notes? That's what I knew I needed to cover tonight, was all of that. And can you tell I've been drinking coffee all afternoon, trying to stay awake?
I can tell. Yeah. I can tell. But that's good, because I haven't been drinking coffee. So
typically the last couple of weeks I'm in bed like 12:30. And then I'll wake up around 5, and then I'm back down, and then I'll wake up around 10, and then I'm back down by 11 o'clock. Then I'm up in the morning because I can't stay awake. I don't have energy. So You got tea? I know you got tea. You still have Thanksgiving tea that you haven't shared yet, I'm sure.
uh, a little bit. I shared it a little bit, I think, on Thanksgiving,
Did you?
but that my grandma or Zach's grandma wasn't invited.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Still don't know
here's
how
the
you don't
tea.
invite grandma to Thanksgiving.
Well, grandma has a history of playing the victim, shall we say, needing the attention to be about her. And bless her heart, every time that we see her, she has a new diagnosis that is just catastrophic. And none of it's actually real. So, and like coming from like, as somebody who actually has things going on, like I want my diagnoses to go away. I'm not inventing new ones. Like I'm like, can I please offload some of these on somebody else? Like
Gotta give you
I
some of
don't want these
mine.
things. No, grandma's rolling up. Grandma's rolling up and is like, oh my gosh, I have what her newest thing is. Oh, she has AFib. That's her newest thing. And I think congestive heart failure was the last one. But she's not on any medication for any of it. And I'm just like, well, Grandma, maybe we should do something about this. Like, have you thought about living a healthier lifestyle? Have you thought about, going outside at all ever? No, she can't. I can't do anything. I can't. I don't know what you want. I can't.
Did you
And
see
I'm like,
Carol's?
well,
No, hang on. You missed Carol's comment. This is how the Grandma and the Reindeer
oh
song
no, what
got
did I
written.
miss?
This is how the Grandma and Reindeer song got written. Grandma got run over.
Listen, it is one of those things that it's just like, when I moved to the South, so backstory, I grew up in Illinois and I moved to Texas for a short period of time. So that was my first introduction to the South. And then I moved to Tennessee. And I thought bless your heart was like a cute, like nice saying. So I have since learned that bless your heart is not the way that I would have taken it. So we have a lot of bless your heart moments with Grandma, and I just, and like if I bring up anything about my health, it's just like, well, you're just exaggerating. Like you look fine. You're here, you have makeup on, you look fine. And I'm like, well, damn it, Grandma, it's called a mask. Like put one on. Like, nobody cares.
Since you are a northerner, you also need to know that down south we don't hide crazy in our family. We stick them on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea. Okay, we're proud of the crazy in our family. We're
we
proud
kept
of that.
our crazy indoors up north. We didn't let people know the crazy of our household. We kept it inside, and we didn't tell people. Like
we celebrate
you guys
that.
just let it all fly. And I'm just like, So Grandma had just been acting up a lot lately. And so that's how she didn't get invited to Thanksgiving, because she had just been a little much with the diagnoses. And,
like Grandma
just I'm dying.
I know, Carol. They should have just sat Grandma down with a bottle of wild turkey and let her go. Here's your
This
turkey,
woman could
Grandma.
probably tell you stories. It is just like every time it is something new, and I'm just like, Grandma, there's no way you have all of these diagnoses, but you're on no medication. There's no way.
Maybe her doctors are like mine.
I'm sorry.
Maybe her doctors are confused like mine,
Listen, I'm not discriminating against all grandmas. Okay? Dixie,
What's
I'm sure
funny
you're a
is-
great grandma.
This neurologist,
Some grandmas.
after he went off about my pain doctor, he goes, what's your pain doctor's name? And I gave it to him, and he's like, he goes, oh yeah, Waxahachie. I go, yeah. He goes, click. who's your PCP? And I told him, I said, walks ahead, she as well. And yep, okay, click. He's like, I'm going to go ahead and send these notes to him. So everything he said that my pain doctor was wrong on is going right to my pain doctor's office.
Oh my gosh. Carol says, why am I enjoying the grandma smashing? Listen,
I'm
not
know.
trying to smash grandma. I'm just giving some context onto why she wasn't invited to Thanksgiving. Like, I'm just trying to provide some clarity. Bless her heart. She's dealing with a lot, okay? Grandma's got all the issues.
She's got a
lot.
She's got a lot going on, and she needs confrontation. She needs, confirmation. That people see her and recognize her. But see, she could come hang out on Tuesdays and be seen and be heard and recognized as well.
Listen, she would fit in great. Although she probably would not fit in great because it is a competition. So she's in a competition by herself, but she thinks everybody's in it, type of thing.
See, I'd be in trouble.
So she maybe wouldn't fit in that way.
I'd be in trouble because right now, this brain fog that I have, I couldn't keep track of what I told you was wrong with me. And that would be a problem.
Oh, she can't.
Oh, yeah. She can't?
Oh, no, she slips up all the time. Yeah, no. She slips up. Like last time, not this Thanksgiving, but last time I saw her, because her previous diagnosis was congestive heart failure. And so the next time I saw her, I said, oh my gosh, well, they call her Grammy. So I was like, Grammy, like, how is the congestive heart failure? How are you feeling? And she was like, I don't have congestive heart failure. And I said, oh, my mistake. I was like, I'm so sorry. I thought that's what you said last time we met. And she goes, no, I don't have congestive heart failure. And then about 30 minutes later, she was like, yeah, I forgot. That's a new diagnosis, so I still forget that I have it sometimes. But yeah, I do have it. I'm like, got it. Great. Sorry, you just looked at your notes and we reconfirmed. We do have it. We're good.
God bless her.
We like it. But yeah, she does. Bless her heart. So how she's just... And it's funny because... Or no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, and like, she's only 73, 74-ish, but she continues to remind us that she is like knocking on death's door, and like she is not going to be around very much longer because of all these health issues, and that we really need to soak in the time with her and spend more time with her and do this because any day now, she's a goner.
She's a goner.
And I'm like... I think you have some more time. Like, I think you're okay.
I feel bad for her. Today I was talking to a friend and they were talking about all these different pastries that they were going to go get and eat and everything. And I'm processing pastries. And I was going to send them a joke, but I needed a picture of a pastry. And
yeah,
I sent a picture of pastrami.
That's funny.
And they were like, what is that?
Well, I mean, I'm close.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. It would have been so funny. But
yeah, I mean, you got the first couple letters right.
I got the P right,
Yeah. It's fine.
I was just P-A-S-T, I was there. I was this close. I was so close. So
I mean, technically you got the first 3 letters.
I don't know, I can't spell.
Pastry, or 4 letters. So you were there.
Whatever,
You were halfway there.
That's what I tried to say. Yeah, that's just where the brain fog does for you, So, so should we?
I'm glad I could get you guys laughing. I appreciate that because, unfortunately, these are just. I have lots of these stories, and this is just the life I married into somehow.
I'm glad that you're
This
feeling
is
better,
just
so we can get more Murfreesboro tea. The neighborhood tea. That way you can be sitting outside and keep us up to date. Of what's going on.
yeah.
So, um,
Yeah, it was funny.
it's a,
Even my neighbor texted me and was like, "Where have you? Are you okay? Where? I haven't seen you." She's like, "I know your car's there, so I know you're home, but where have you been?" And I was like, "I've been sick." And she was like, "Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I hadn't seen you." And I was like, I'll be back on Monday with the regularly scheduled programming. I'll be on that front porch, keeping an eye out. Don't you worry." And then I saw her Monday, and she was like, "Back to your post?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am."
that's funny.
So,
Then your neighbors aren't going to know what to think because now they're going to start getting caught again. Their sneaky links are going to have to be sneaky and everything again. So, hey, Terry, I hope you're having a good night
I have
tonight.
to watch your mouth because,
Um, Terry,
always
you
watching.
you joined at a good time because Amanda is going to lead us into probably the best part of Tuesday nights. One of the best parts of every Tuesday. I'll let you do the intro to the victories.
Our favorite part is victories. So we want to hear what victories you've had since we've been off last week. You have 2 weeks to pull from victories. What have you done in the past 2 weeks that has been a victory? Has it been something small or something big? Like, we want to hear it. No victory is too small for us because we love it and we love to hear it. We love to encourage you guys on your victories. So
I love to
take
live
this
through your
time
victories.
and take this time and share everything, like all the good things that you've had. We want to praise you for it.
Yes.
So
Erica just let off. She said, "I had my MRI yesterday. No new lesions. Hallelujah." That is an awesome
That's
victory
great.
right there. Congratulations on that. That's huge. That is huge.
Especially with the MS diagnosis. That's great.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
No lupus and no RA, Deborah. Hallelujah to that too. That's pretty healthy.
Those
That's
are
pretty
two
healthy
good
big
things
thing.
to rule out.
That's two really big things to rule out there. I'm
That
gonna
is
say,
two good things to rule out.
for me, I'm gonna say that I actually got to see a neurologist because I've been fighting for one, for a long time. And I finally got into it. Kate got back to work today.
Quickly.
Yes. Congratulations, Kate.
Yay.
I'm glad you got back today. Our little insurance warrior. You kicked ass with that. That is so awesome. And I got a shower yesterday. Another big one for me too, because I just don't have the energy. So anything, guys, whether it could be a shower, it could be saw the grandkids, you got some sleep, you're able to sleep through the night. Whatever you may have pulled off that can be tough. Just bring it out there. No victory. TJ said went to the ER.
Yeah.
Was able to. That's good. Dixie, you've got all the winter cover washed, dry folded. That's good. Yeah, it can take a while to get into the neuro. I was surprised they got me in that quick.
That's a blessing for sure.
Yes, it is. Terry said she took grandbabies for a little walk. That is awesome. I love stories with the grandkids and with animals.
So good.
I love that. Shelly got her Christmas cards mailed. Awesome.
Ooh,
that is cool.
You're ahead of me. I'm still working on it.
That's a task. That's a task. Ricky said her second spinal surgery is done and over with. That's crazy.
She's doing so good.
She is.
She's doing so good. She's such a trooper. That's amazing.
That just scares the crap out of me. Every spinal surgeries. Yeah, it's the recovery, right? We get lucky. We have dogs that like to pee on things, so we don't put a Christmas tree up. So I don't have to deal with that. All four of them think they're alphas.
My Christmas tree is really, my Christmas tree is really cute this year. If I can toot my own horn, I think it's really cute. But
Like we could stop you from tooting your own horn. That's great. I'm glad it's put up. I saw pictures of it. You had it in the background of one of your videos. I saw it.
Yeah.
It looked pretty. It's good. You know,
It took me like all day, but I did it.
I think Val's leaving this weekend to drive up to see the grandkids, and then we'll do Christmas with the grandkids in another week and a half after that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, Dixie, I don't blame you. What you can do, Dixie, is like go grab a Home and Garden magazine and cut a picture of a Christmas tree out and put that up. That's what you can do. Nobody will ever know. Nobody will ever tell. You know.
You can also just get like a tabletop tree. Just a tiny little tree. That's okay too.
Yeah. Call me the
You
Grinch.
gotta have Christmas cheer.
I do have Christmas cheer.
I just watched that movie today.
Imagine that. I wish I could be happy. I really, really wish I could be happy. Leslie says, got her vacation approved.
Yeah.
Planned vacation December 20th. That's great. I
Woohoo.
can't tell
That's
you
fun.
what joy feels like right now. I can't tell you what happiness feels like right now. It's not that I'm gonna go off the deep end. I just can't. It's not making it through the muck in my brain, the mashed potato brain.
There's
Just
so
not.
much going on, yeah.
So it sucks, you know.
Kind of like a lack of emotion altogether. I've been there,
Yeah.
where you just, everything is just kind of, ugh, I'm here.
You get to that
And
point where it's
that's-
like, what's next? You know.
Yeah.
It's like what's next? You know. But you know, a lot of people have it worse than I do. So I'm just gonna keep going and watch my doctors fight it out. Maybe do a death match. You know, remember MTV back in the day, celebrity death match? Those are some great things. You know.
Have it on pay-per-view.
Kate, you're right. It is hard to think. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. You know.
You know, it's okay
said I'm
to
not-
have that feeling, but you just can't stay in it.
I mean, it's not like I'm
So-
planning on doing anything dumb. I just,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
I just can't do it. It's just, there's nothing. The most excited I get is going through these people's victories. That's it. And I know I'm
think we
blessed.
everybody can relate.
I mean, I
We've
know
all
I'm
been there.
blessed. I know that we've had a great week. I know I have a roof, I have food. You know, I've got friends on the streets of Las Vegas still that don't have that. So I know, right? I know where my priorities are.
Yeah.
The last 6 months have sucked ass, you know. So it just is what it is. When it's bad when I'll tell Valerie I'm leaving the dogs with you when I go lay down. I don't even want the dogs in bed with me.
Yeah.
Right? So that's
Yeah.
a sign. But that's enough of my sob story. So
Now-
we'll be. I'm excited about bringing Invisible No More home on Thursdays. A little anxious because it's going to take a lot. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
But
But it's going to be good. I think, I think Invisible No More is what drew me in, and I'm sure is what drew a lot of you guys in as well. Just hearing people's stories and being able to relate to other people and having a commonality and like getting a diagnosis from somebody, like that's amazing. But just having that shared experience is so important. And I think that's why Thursdays are so important. And why I told you, I was like, we can't just let it go to the wayside. Like we got to figure out a way to get it back. And because I
And
think
we
it
will.
is so important to share people's stories.
I think it is too, and I think it's a good example of where we don't need to have the same diagnosis. I mean, I sound like a broken record, but to me, the invisible community is just a group of people with different diagnoses that have come together to share lived experiences, so others can be more successful. Let others know that they're seen, they're heard, and they're loved, and that's what I want to make sure when I do invisible, that people are getting little bits and pieces that that can help them be more successful, and we go forward from there. We laugh, we joke, we cry. Everything's always a serious topic, but we always find a way to make fun of the situation and pull stuff out. So so we're going to start that again on the 2nd of January. Somehow or another, that's going to be a lot of coffee. Going to be a lot of coffee. That's all right.
But
I guess if
we'll get through the holidays first.
If anybody's still here, if you plan on watching in January, right now it's scheduled at 8 o'clock at night, Texas time, 8 o'clock Central time. Do you want me to keep it at 8 or move it to 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern? That's kind of what I'm thinking of doing, is moving it to 7 p.m. Texas or Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. So I need some feedback on that. So hang on a second.
Moonchild, I think. I was gonna say, Moonchild, I think that's such a great comment. She said that, or wait, this might sound odd, but I think a victory was you doing you and postponing last week. And I agree with that. I think, we didn't want to postpone last week, but with Keith struggling the way he was, and I literally did not have a voice on Tuesday. And, I think taking that time for us was such a victory, like it seems like an odd victory, but I agree. I thank you for acknowledging that, Moonchild. I really appreciate that. I agree that it's a victory for sure.
It was a hard call for both of us, but I think we definitely did the right thing.
We didn't want to.
No. Yeah. So, you got anything else there, kiddo? Because I am currently on mask 7,320, and my stockpile is getting low. So I'm gonna run out.
No, I don't think I have anything.
All right.
No, I think we covered it all. And you guys got a little extra grandma tea in there, so
yeah, they did, didn't we?
I'll probably have more after Christmas. I'll keep you updated.
I would say if you need anything from me, don't bother sending a message. Don't bother commenting as of tonight. The last time I checked, TikTok did an update and it actually shows me on my phone how many messages I have. And I'm not going to say how many I have. It's a ton. Email would be the best way right now. It's simply Keith, KEITH, CPP @gmail.com. That would be the best way to find me right now if you need me for something. Because I'm not finding the strength to do a lot of sitting down and respond to messages back. I just don't have it. And it's not that I don't love everybody. I don't care about everybody. It's just I just cannot do it. If it doesn't happen before 11 o'clock in the morning, it gets put off on the next day. So.
Yeah, and it's very daunting whenever you open your app and you have hundreds of notifications and you already don't feel well. Like the thought of going into that, is overwhelming. So
452.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's a lot.
So that would be the way to find me, the best way. If you do a video that talks about invisible stuff, please tag myself or Amy or Joe, and so we can share it, duet it, stitch it, wherever. Put it on our stories. We'd love to do that so we can get more exposure for it. I really want to be more proactive in the next several weeks, especially starting on the 2nd, to getting the community back to where it needs to be and back to trying to reach people. I feel like we've missed opportunities in that, and that's because I've been fighting my demons, and I want to get back to where we need to be. So, but email is the best way to reach me. I love you guys.